little sketches, as you see on the right side. Then we need to bring some mock-ups in scale 1:1, and we also needed to have lots of visualization things, and even took the chance to do some VR concepts in it. And here is the workflow. Just collecting the materials, finding local companies that can produce it, and having not so long transportation ways. And then we needed to put it into pictures that the client can understand what you mean. And at the end, we also showed the 3D concept, as you see down in the middle page. And at the end, the visualization that the client can understand and self-project to the patients and clients. On the middle side, there is the material board for the inpatient rooms, and we had four different department towers, as you can see, yellow, green, red, and blue. And then we transported it also into the room and used as a signalétic room the animal that you can find in China. And here I brought together the materials that are used for the inpatient entrance wall. And you have a lot of different materials that need to go together, like terrazzo flooring and wall materials such as metal panels, HDF compact boards, aluminum, and so on. And the next page I want to show you the what needed to be done to bring it at the end to the last version, as you can see on the big space, with a concept that the client was satisfied with. And to come there, we did material boards and visualization photos. And then what was also important to think about was to think about it, how the workers that are creating this building, how can they work? Can they go do difficult things or not? And also to use virtual reality, we had to think about the costs that come with it, because you need an architect to check if the visualization is correctly done and if it's based on the right construction plan. So it's all together, it takes a lot of time. And the interesting thing is that in China, because the people work more with the eye to see things, to understand things, and in Germany we don't do so much 3D perspectives and so on. And we also put a lot of thinking about the cost calculation. So that's why the VR is in Germany, for example, nowadays not so much common. But on the other hand, on China, because it helps to understand things, they already use it. And then you have to be in balance to already know and understand this. Working elements, and on the other side also double check if it's necessary for the project to spend money and time on it. And another aspect was also the language barrier. In China, for the project, there were some people that only could Chinese, and I only could speak English or German. And we also needed to find a way to come together And so we could use already the translation platforms that are given to make things work and to find a solution to have the building done. Okay. And this is the summary that I have given you already to develop the concept. You first have to create the picture and think about the construction elements, think about the workers that can do or not can do it, and have a lot of meetings with the clients, with the public office, and at the end you can make it work if all the people work together. And this is what I wanted to share with you about the projects that I have worked on. I hope I could give you a bit of picture of different projects, how they can work in different countries. And I hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your enlightening session. Kindly have a seat out there.
Thank you very much. I think we got some information about medical specialization in architecture. I just have one quick question.
Yes, please.
You have been working as an architect into the medical profession
Yes.
for a while. So which part of critical thinking has influence in healing the patient most? Is it the materiality? Is it the space making? With your experience,
Yes.
which part of influencing because medical is a very critical profession, so which part of the design aspect or critical design aspect help to heal the patient much more? Will that help in, did you study from that perspective as well?
That is a good question. And there are actually studies that say people have a better healing if they are on the side with there is more sun, and if you have created a good environment for the patient with a good air quality and a lot of space and so on. So it's a combination of architecture and medical to have the patient recover very soon. And the studies even say if you are on the sunny side of the hospital, it's up to 4 days that your healing process is in better condition if the environment of landscape and architecture and medical treatment work well together.
Because you were talking about the healing garden.
Mm-hmm.
I was just quite interested in knowing that did you specify certain type of plants which help in improving the
That's a specialty of Nickel and Partner. They put in the middle of hospital the healing garden where you have a walkway and you can time to find some rest, and also they tried to put some plants that create a good atmosphere and for example have a good smell or good something like this to help you to go to be better.
Yeah, thank you.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Good morning, ma'am. I'm Associate Professor Serpa from
Yes.
ESD. So I saw your child hospital. It was so amazing. So what was the major difference between creating the child hospital than the normal hospital where adults are also being treated?
Wait a minute, I have closer to come.
A child hospital
Yes.
and the normal hospital where all age groups are.
What's the difference?
So what was the major difference that or the challenges?
Okay. If you work in a children's hospital, you have to create space for lots of people. because if you go there with a sick child, you most likely need like two people. If I speak about the outpatient area, you need most likely two people to bring the hospital and the child into the hospital, because one has to go to sign up your child somewhere and the other one goes with the child for the treatment. So you have to create a lot of space to have walking areas, and also otherwise, as you know, in China there are a lot of people. You have to have a huge hospital to have a place for all these huge children. And then also you have to have a lot of different treatment areas, medical units, to be able to help the child or to figure out solutions that the child can get a good treatment and have it all under one roof. So one point is space, to have a lot of different directions of treatment under one roof, and also have a highly engineered hospital that the best doctors can be there and work there.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your enlightening session. Kindly have a seat.
Thank you.
Before moving forward, we have with us one of the panelist members, Dr. Shishil Kakeri. We welcome you so much, sir. Thank you so much for being here.
We shall now begin with track 3 presentations, Design for Emerging Technology and a Sustainable Future.
Authors are requested to kindly come onto the stage once their names are announced. Kindly keep it in mind that maximum 10 minutes have been allotted for you to present the paper, requesting you all to adhere timings to maintain the smooth program.
I would now like to call upon stage our first speaker, Mr. Ritesh L., along with Ms. Sneha.
Good morning, everyone. Respected dignitaries, faculties, and students. So it's an immense pleasure to present my paper entitled Beyond Boundaries, Redefining Spatial Flexibility in Co-working Interiors. So myself, Ritesh, so I'm an assistant professor at Bangalore School of Design and Technology, and also a research scholar in NIT Calicut. So in the era of co-working spaces, so there is a rapid shift. So due to the shifting, so there is a requirement of rigid office layouts to the dynamic, collaborative and adaptable environments due to hybrid work culture, freelancing, startup, and the gig economy. So these co-working spaces have emerged as a response to this transformation, supporting flexibility, innovation, and community-driven work environments. So if we look at the statistics, in a decade, so there is a co-working space grew more than 1,000%. So this is with respect to India from 2005 to 2020. So this proves that so there is a response to this transformation. So there is a requirement of the co-working spaces, so which is in the future. So however, so these existing co-working interiors often fail to adapt to changing user needs, varying group sizes, and multiple work modes such as focused work, informal interaction, and team collaboration. So this spatial flexibility today extends beyond movable furniture. So it includes adaptable layouts, modular systems, acoustic comfort, sensory-aware materials, lighting, and technology and integration. So this motivates for the research, so that there is a rapid change in the work culture, and there is a demand in interiors that can continuously adapt to evolving professionals and social requirements. So many current co-working spaces still rely on static architectural framework, so that limits the flexibility and reduce the user satisfaction. So this research is motivated by the needs to redefine co-working space as flexible, boundaryless ecosystems that enhances well-being, creativity, and productivity. So the objectives, so to identify and evaluate the interior design components, so that supports modularity, multifunctionality, and spatial reconfiguration, to establish human-centric design strategies, so that improves well-being, creativity, and functional efficiency. So this is one of the major objective which are focused, and to develop a flexible interior design model which is suitable for the diverse and changing user demographics in co-working environments, to integrate the sustainable and environmentally responsive design strategies into adaptable workplace interior, and to examine how modular systems or the movable partition and sensory-aware materials which influence the user experience and productivity. So the research question as a hypothesis, so how can spatial flexibility be systematically integrated into the interior architecture of co-working space to fully accommodate the diverse shifting needs of creative professionals, and how co-working interior can be redesigned to support these diverse work modes and fluctuating user requirements. So from the literature key studies, so I had identified these co-working spaces and productivity, so which it requires the social collaboration and workspace satisfaction and privacy, which should induce the focused spaces, spatial relationship, and environmental psychology. So these co-working spaces directly influence the stress levels to the individuals and to bring up the productivity in their work. User preferences in co-working environments. As an adaptable and flexible nature, it is very much important. And flexible and modular interior systems. So rather than being a rigid framework, so it can also promote how we can change the spaces into semi-open spaces or open spaces. So that induces the flexible and modular interior system, and sustainability and adaptive interior. So it promotes the usage of the recyclable materials or also the movable partitions, which can reduce the permanent construction. So identifying these key studies, so the research gap, what I was found, so despite the growing popularity of shared workspaces, so there is a critical issue persist. So many existing layouts which will retain the static architectural elements that fail to support the non-linear, unpredictable nature of modern creative workflows. So while current design practice acknowledges the importance of adaptable workspace, so there remains a notable gap in defining the precise interior parameters, modular framework, and material strategies which is required to cultivate truly responsive environments. So the overall contribution from the literature review, so it develops a flexible interior framework, so it integration of human-centric design and sustainable interior strategies and practical design recommendations and bridging the theory and practice. The overall outcome, so it's a responsive, human-centered, sustainable and adaptable co-working interiors that enhances the productivity, well-being, and long-term value. So methodology which I have used is a mixed method of approach. So it includes both qualitative research and quantitative research. So whereas quantitative method were used to identify the measurable user preferences, which will relate it to workspace layouts, that flexibility and privacy and comfort, whereas qualitative methods were employed to understand the physical, emotional, and behavioral responses towards the adaptive workplaces as it defines with respect to the experiences. So the research integrated has user surveys, semi-structured interviews, a case study analysis, and spatial mapping observation. So this complete framework focused on evaluating like how modular system, movable partition and sensory materials and flexible zoning, which influences the user experience and workplace efficiency. So as a primary data collection for the quantitative method, so the survey was conducted with 50 respondents consisting of students, freelancers, part-time professionals especially, and using the shared workspaces. So the questionnaire collected were how the workspace layout preferred and how's the privacy expectations, useful of movable partition, and the preferred lighting condition, material and color preferences, and flexibility requirements. And whereas qualitative data collection, so it's semi-structured, the interviews were conducted to get the user experiences, cognitive stress in traditional offices, need for spatial autonomy, and collaboration challenges. So this quantitative analysis, which gives the survey responses when analyzed using the descriptive statistical methods, and spatial and case study analysis gives how flow plans and spatial configuration of case studies were mapped to evaluate user movements, patterns, partition adaptability, interaction zones, and acoustics and visual comfort. And comparative evaluation, so we're finding from the surveys, interviews, and case studies were cross-analyzed to develop a comprehensive flexible interior framework for the co-working environments. So as a result, so if you can see, so which type of workspace layout do you prefer and what partition style it is important. And in co-working spaces, what should the flexible partitions mainly provide? And also which zones do you prefer having the co-working space? Also, it impact on the color palette, what we use in the co-working spaces, and what kind of lighting. So finding out these results, so it's gonna give the results for my objectives. So which gives the spatial flexibility as a core requirement. So this study reveals that spatial flexibility is no longer an optimal feature, but a fundamental requirement in contemporary co-working environments. Users strongly preferred semi-open layouts, indicating the need for space that balance collaboration and privacy. Yeah. As a summary, I just wanted to brief static architectural framework are no longer suitable for evolving needs for the contemporary creative professionals. So users strongly prefer the spatial autonomy with adaptable layouts. And these sensory elements such as material textures, acoustic comfort, and intentional color zoning play a major role in providing psychological comfort. And flexible and user-controlled environments perform more effectively than conventional open plan workspaces in supporting the productivity and well-being. So these are my limitations and future scope, what we can do. So yeah, I thankful to Acharya Institutes and Acharya School of Design for providing the opportunity to present and publish this paper. So I also extremely heartfelt appreciate to Ms. Sneha. She is a co-author. And also especially thanks to my college, Bangalore School of Design and Technology, for the continuous support and guidance throughout this process. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. We are once again reminding everybody that only 10 minutes have been allotted to present your paper. Kindly adhere the timings so that we can run the program smoothly.
Thank you so much. Next, we have Madhura Bhuvan with the title From Tradition to Innovation, Reimagining Kashmiri Reversible Shawls into Modern Apparel.
Good morning, everyone. This is Madhura Bhuvan, working as Assistant Professor and HOD in Indian Institute of Fashion Technology, Bangalore. So my today's topic is all about from tradition to innovation. I am basically of designing part. So where exactly I am going to work as reimagining Kashmiri reversible shawl into a modern apparel. So this is what is the concept that I'm working with. Okay, so the introduction, before starting with the actual process, so I would like to give a small introduction about the Kashmiri shawls, which are luxurious hand-woven textiles, so which has been known for its fineness, craftsmanship, interior patterns, and also which has been used for premium natural fiber like Kashmir and wool silk. So these shawls are traditionally made using techniques passed down through generation, valued worldwide for their softness, warmth, and elegance. Reversible shawls display refined pattern on both the side, which will be very interesting and also very unique, represents a blend of tradition and innovation. So objectives, study Kashmiri reversible shawls and their innovative applications, understand the sustainable concepts in fashion, explore modular garment development, where exactly I'm going to deal with zero waste apparel design inspired by shawl. So the motivation of the study, it's all about where I'm going to combine traditional textile art with modern fashion needs to promote sustainable and zero waste fashion practice, to support sustainable and eco-friendly clothing, to create a multiple, where exactly the same thing which will be used in a multiple ways. So literature review, it's all about study of Kashmiri shawls and traditional weaving technique. So where exactly in this particular shawl, the Buddhas of the motifs will be of paisley and in the Kashmiri textiles. So impact of machine-made products on local artisans, importance of preserving traditional craftsmanships and culture. So research on sustainable, reversible, and modular fashion design. So contribution of this particular paper, convert Kashmiri shawls into a modern clothing design, combine traditional art with the sustainable fashion, where we are going to work with zero waste and eco-friendly fashion, helps preserve Kashmiri textile culture and craftsmanship, creates cloth that can be used for different ways. So when it comes to the design, research design, it's all about selecting Kashmiri reversible shawls for study, analyzing motif, fabric, and also weaving technique, developing modern apparel design, evolution, and evaluating the sustainability and usability of this particular design. Analysis method, so analyzing the traditional Pashmina motifs and also a weaving style, comparing traditional motifs or the shawls with modern apparel design, and where exactly by using a zero waste garment patterns, studying functionally sustainability and also usability of the design, reviewing the final apparel design for the aesthetic and practical value. So the tools and techniques, where the complete motto of this particular study, it's all about we are going to use a zero waste, and the complete shawl will be used, and where exactly we are going to develop with number of garments, where we are going to use it in a different way. So it can be shawls, or it can be the number of skirts. So it can be the reversible, as the fabric itself, which will be having a beautiful reversible intricate designs. So we are going to use as, wraparound skirts, or it can be the pleated skirt. So this is how the pattern will be made for it. and reversible fabric concept. So dual functionality will be there, where one garment can be styled into a number of ways, aesthetic versatility. So different color patterns can be there in each side. No visible wrong through side which will be there. So both the side it will be evenly finished. So cost efficiency, reduce need of multiple garments, and sustainability of zero waste. So the conclusion, so Kashmiri reversible shawls are variable blend for heritage, craftsmanship and innovation. Reversible weaving technique provides both aesthetic and functional advantages. So traditional textiles can be successfully adopted into modern apparel such as jackets, capes and skirts. Zero waste and sustainable design method enhance the environmental responsibilities, and contemporary adaptation helps to provide or preserve artisan identity and cultural heritage. So the limitations, access to artisan communities and production units, time constraint in developing multiple garment prototypes, limited availability of aesthetic reversible shawls sample for experimentation, and research mainly focus on qualitative analysis rather than the large-scale consumer research. So the acknowledgement. So I sincerely thank IAFT College of Fashion for providing the academic guidance and also support for my research work, and special gratitude towards the organizer of Acharya Institute Design Conference 2026 for this particular opportunity to present my paper. I express my heartfelt appreciation to the Kashmiri artisan and also our textile designers who craftsmanship and traditional knowledge inspired this particular research. Finally, sincere thanks to all the researchers, authors and the institution who publish work contributes to the successful completion of this particular paper. So this is the reference I took. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Up next, we have Miss Reshmi Manikot Kolarath with the title Mapping Urban Flood Risk, a study of causative factors in the Kormangla Chalagata Valley. After her,
Okay. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. So I will be presenting my paper on mapping urban flood risk, a study of causative factors in the Kormangla Chalagata Valley.
you can hold it. I will just switch it.
Okay, so my paper was about urban flooding in Bangalore. So this is part of my PhD study in which I had looked at the ways like the reasons for flooding in Bangalore city and especially in the Kormangla Chalagata Valley system, which is the area of my study. So this paper specifically looked at the flooding which happened in 2022, which was a very unprecedented flooding, and the very large areas of the Kormangla Chalagata Valley as well as the entire Bangalore was submerged in that particular flood. But especially the IT corridor of the Kormangla Chalagata Valley, that the outer ring road area. So this study was mainly looking at the causative factors of flooding in that area. And this looks at the climate change factors as well as other reasons which could have resulted in the flooding that happened. So as you know, that flooding is not a very new thing, especially over the last 1 decade. You can see that there has been several instances of flooding around the world, including even cities like Dubai, which has got flooded recently. As well as all around the world, there are a lot of news reports which keep coming in about flooding. So as I think all of you also understand that flooding is also one of the main reasons of flooding is climate change. And the unprecedented rainfall and basically the climate factors which results in a very large amount of rain coming down in a very short duration of time, due to which we have flooding which happens. And this has been happening not just in Bangalore, as you can see, it's been happening in all major cities around the world, including all the major cities in India. So as you are aware that cities like Mumbai and Chennai have always reported flooding, especially over the last 1 decade. But if you start looking at it more closely, then you can see that even other smaller cities are also getting, so you can see the impacts of flooding even in those cities as well. And one of the main reasons why cities get flooded so much is because of the infrastructural challenges we have in the cities, because the population growth in the cities is usually not proportionate to the infrastructure growth in the cities. As most cities gets more and more populated with people, we can see that the city's infrastructure is not developed enough to hold the kind of climate change impacts that are happening in the cities around the world. So when you look at just at the different types of flooding, when you talk about flooding, there are basically exactly like 4 types of flooding. One is the coastal flooding, which you find in coastal cities of the world, which is mainly due to coastal storm surges, etc. Then there is the fluvial flooding, which is caused by river discharges, and that is the type of flooding which you mainly see in the inland cities and cities which are near to rivers and river water and all that. They usually have fluvial flooding which happens. Then there is something called the pluvial flooding, which is also called surface water flooding, which is mainly caused by rainfall and runoff, which is what happens mainly in urban areas around the world. And then there is something called groundwater flooding, which is caused by increasing water levels, which is also related to climate change and increased precipitation. So when you look at urban areas and the flooding in urban areas, the main reason is pluvial flooding. And this happens mainly when the rainfall which happens exceeds the capacity of the urban drainage system to withhold that water, and that water in the end ends up overflowing into the roads and areas around that particular place. And pluvial flooding is definitely it's very dangerous in the sense that it has caused a lot of displacement of people, infrastructure damages. So every time it rains and it floods, there's a lot of infrastructure damage and costs which is associated with it. And the intense and frequent rainfall events combined with the congested and inadequate drainage system are one of the main reasons for urban pluvial flooding in India. So the main causative factors of flooding, as I've studied from the literature reviews which I've done, mainly are: one is extreme rainfall, as I was talking about. Second is urban development, and even if you look just at the example of Bangalore itself, you can see the kind of urban development we have had. Most of our development has ended up happening in the floodplains of the city, which is the main reason why we are having a lot of the flooding, because there is no place to hold the water in the city. Then the topography. Topography is obviously an important factor, especially when you have undulating topography. All the areas which are in the low-lying regions are definitely more susceptible to flooding. Then solid waste management, which is a very important aspect and it's very much connected to flooding, because one of the main reasons of flooding, even if you start going and checking our stormwater drains and all, is not because of the lack of the capacity of stormwater drains in a lot of cases. It is because they get clogged because of very bad solid waste management. Then obviously soil type, because a lot of places the soil types are not feasible for infiltration. That means it ends up causing a lot of runoff, which is not managed properly, which will lead to flooding. So usually urban areas, whenever flooding happens, it's a combination of all these factors, especially because not just the climate impact which is happening around the world, but because of the lack of good infrastructure and the increased population and development which is happening, is also adding to the problem of flooding in cities. So I'm looking at the particular study area. This is my study area is Bangalore, and specifically I was looking at the Koramangala Valley system. So the methodology used in the study was mainly the climate data was analyzed over the 5 years prior to the flooding that happened, and LULC changes were documented using GIS and ArcMap mainly to understand the impact of urbanization on urban flooding. And LULC maps were generated for a period of 20 years from 2013 to 2023. So when you look at Bangalore's topography, I think it's something many of you will be already aware of. We are basically situated between two watershed areas of two river systems. One is the Kaveri river system and the other is the Ponnaya river system. And we have a lot of valley systems in the city which kind of drains towards these two rivers. And other than that, if you look at it, other than these major river systems, Bangalore does not have any perennial source of water supply. We mainly are dependent on seasonal rivers which are there. Whichever rivers which are there near to Bangalore are all seasonal rivers. So throughout all these centuries, we have been mostly dependent on the Kere water system or the lake water system or tank system as it's called, because Bangalore has never had a proper perennial water body nearby. And mainly there are these three valley systems in Bangalore. One is the Rishabhavati, the next is the Hebbal, and the next is Chalagata, three major valley systems. And there are of course sub-valley systems as well. One of the main reasons which can be attributed to the flooding which happens in Bangalore is lack of an integrated approach to water management, and also the fact that the Kere water system which I was talking about, which was one of the major sources of water management in the city, has reduced substantially over the period of the last decade. After 1960 onwards, if you check, it has decreased by 17%. So there is no space to hold the water in the city as well. And every time it rains, as you are all aware, all the subways and roads and everything is submerged in water because of that. And looking at the Koramangala-Chalagata valley system, around 33 flood-prone areas are identified just in that particular valley system. And these are some of the areas which I have listed it from the state case, like the newspapers as well as from the research articles which I have got. And yeah, one of the, as I was telling, the main means of water management in the city was the Kere water system, which included three types of drains as well as the Keres or the lakes or tanks. The primary drains, which are also called the Raja Kaluways, if you see, they're mostly intact and they're mostly mapped. But mainly if you start looking at the reasons for flooding, you can see the secondary and tertiary drains in the city have mostly been encroached. And that is the main reason why flooding is happening, because the water is not reaching the primary drain, because the tertiary drains most of the tertiary drains, if you start checking, have been encroached, and there are layouts and apartments and other things that have come upon these tertiary drains, which are by and large ignored and people end up encroaching them. So looking at the rainfall data of Bangalore, and the reason why I was looking at the 2022 flooding especially was the reason is that if you just look at the rainfall data, 2022 recorded something like 1,958 mm of rain, which is a big anomaly and was one of those rare events that happened. 2023 was a deficit year, but after that again it has been increasing every year. If you see 24, 25, as well as even 26, we already have got something like 1,011 mm of rain in a day in Bangalore on April 29th, April 30th. As you can see also when you look at the climate data, except for the year 2023, if you look at the data of the rainfall has been increasing almost every year. So that basically means we have to look at ways how to hold the water so that we do not flood our cities. And this is the LULC maps from 93 to 2023, so it's very self-explanatory. As you can see, the built-up area has increased from 16% in 93 to 71% around in 2023, by 2023. After 2012 onwards, there has been a lot of action to preserve our water bodies. The water bodies have not really reduced a lot in size during that time. But as you can see, this area, especially which I was talking about, were largely agricultural areas, which have all become totally built-up areas now. So the agricultural area that has reduced a lot, which has also impacted the rain and flooding and all that, because there is no floodplains remaining. So basically the result of the study is that as the study shows, the pervious areas have increased by 4 times in the KC Valley between 2003 to 2023. And it means there is a 4-fold increase of impervious areas, which means increased runoff and more chances of flooding. And the spread of water bodies is also decreased in the area if you look at the larger study, and especially done by ASC over these years. And also there is a lot of increase in the built-up area and a lot of LULC changes, which clearly says that the lot of development and the infrastructure is not sufficient to support this kind of development that has happened in this area, especially since that area, the Outer Ring Road, Silk Board area in Koramangala Valley is also one of the main IT corridors in the city, and it always floods every time it rains. The study basically points to the fact that rapid urbanization and unregulated encroachment of natural drainage pathways are likely to result in the obstruction of the surface runoff, leading to flooding. So we have to look at ways in which we can hold our water, because as we know, we all suffer from water crisis during the summer months. So my study is mainly looking at how we can hold the water and reduce the flooding and use it for the people of the city. Okay, yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Next, we have Mr. Harsh Sahu with the title Redefining Sustainable Fashion, a study on vegan leather lifestyle accessories.
Hello everyone. My name is Harsh Sahu. I'm an assistant professor of Acharya School of Design, and my research paper is all about redefining sustainable fashion and majorly focus on vegan leather, on lifestyle accessories. Okay. So we begin with the understanding that vegan leather made from synthetic and plant-based material like pineapple leaves and mushrooms, which is powerful alternative to traditional leather. And our primary motivation is to address the environment pollution and animal welfare in the traditional leather industry. And our research objects are the goal of the study is to analyze current materials, evaluate market trends, and understand the factors that influence consumers' choice. We are essentially asking of whether leathers are truly sustainable alternative, which derives to the public demand and all. Literature review. So you want? So literature reviews like existing the research highlights of rapid growth and plant-based innovations like miscellaneous leather. However, we identify significant gaps, including lack of standardization definition of vegan leather and limited data of long-term durability, in which methodology, like it is a mixed, yeah. So we used mixed method approach, like a combination of qualitative interviews and quantitative surveys targeting the 18 and 45 age demographics. We get data from both online and offline sources of ensure comprehensive look and consumer behavior. And find and keys, results. So our results show that rapid increase in demand, especially among urban youth, interesting consumers, and increasing willing to pay the premium of sustainability, while ethics to the main drive price and design remain crucial factors to the main buying decisions. And discussion. Discussion is like while promising vegan leather is still evolving, we must address the fact that some materials are still non-biodegradable. For industry to move toward a truly circular economy, designers must focus on transparency and material innovations. And conclusion is all about. And conclusion is the vegan leather is strongly ethical alternative that offer great design potential. Moving forward, our work should focus on developing fully biodegradable material and improving long-term performance of these accessories. I should thank you to the Department of Product Designing who supports me academically and the resources which they provide, and all thanks to my
Before concluding that, I would like to give the credit to my student who is a third batch student, Mr. Abhinav Kailash. So his maximum effort, and we developed that his research and paper. This is very, very essential nowadays in a production, product design area and the lifestyle accessories, because one, leather is slowly reducing and we have to use a sustainable material to develop more product, because the leather, it's a natural material, and this the sustainable material having a lot of other material can be used for this. So there is a lot of the area is there. Still we have to improve and develop more the research products. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. We will now take a short break of 15 minutes.
We request everyone to kindly return promptly for the continuation of the conference proceedings. The tea has been arranged outside of the auditorium. You can have a tea break of 15 minutes. Then we'll be back over here after 15 minutes. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
virtual DJ.
We are requesting everyone to kindly be back in the auditorium. We are requesting everyone to kindly be back in the auditorium. We are going to start our sessions. We are requesting everyone to kindly be back in the auditorium. We are going to start our session. Welcome back, everyone. We shall now continue with the remaining track 3 presentations. I would like to call Ms. Dia on the stage with the title Contemporary Indian Female Practitioners Redefining Design Art Through New Media Technology and Sustainable Practice. After Ms. Dia, it's Ms. Anagha. Kindly be ready.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Dia, and I am presenting my paper today along with my co-author, Dr. Mandakini Sharma. And the title of my paper is Redefining Design Art Through New Media and Sustainability. So this research basically focuses on the contemporary Indian artists and designers who have been working on the intersection of design technology, sustainability, and feminist discourse. So here I would love to highlight how Indian contemporary artists and designers have been throwing shade onto the new media art and technology, and how they have been using their subject matters while using these technologies in order to, gain insights. And the main aim of this research is to understand how women artists and designers in India are using new media and technology not only as tools, but as expressive mediums to communicate issues such as social, ecological, and cultural ideas. So a unique contemporary moment. We are currently living a very unique contemporary moment where digital technology is rapidly evolving. So as we are living in an very much AI highlighted era, so we have to also focus on the emergence of digital platforms and the usage of new media art and technology into our artworks and designs as well. So today, technologies such as AI, VR, and AR, digital illustrations, video art, and generative systems are changing the way artists and designers create and communicate. So new media is no longer passive. Everyone is using new media and digital technologies very, very rapidly. So this research paper is an initiative wherein I can highlight Indian contemporary artists and designers who have been working on that genre. At the same time, because of climate change and environmental concerns, sustainability has become another new, very important design artistic practice. Because of so much of climate change, designers are moving towards sustainability and sustainable design practices. So designers today are not only thinking about aesthetics, but about ecological responsibility, circular design, material usage, and community impact. Therefore, this research studies how technology and sustainability are now working together rather than opposing each other. So, the main motive of this research paper is to highlight that how sustainability and new media art are interdependent. They have to go hand in hand with each other. Talking about the research gap, one major research gap that I have identified here is that Indian practitioners are not given that much of leverage and that much of importance when we talk about designers and artists. So it is an initiative again to help them highlight the digital media and sustainability factors, and to highlight the underrated artists and designers who have been working on the GIST genre. Their contributions are important, and because they are not documented that much. So it is an initiative to highlight those contributions in today's era. So my research has two very, very important questions here. First one is, how are Indian women using digital technology as an expressive medium for sustainable narratives? First question. And the second is, how are they challenging the traditional ideas? So because traditional art and designs are very much followed today in India. So my question is that how the new media art and technology are breaking that ground, and also ecological thinking through contemporary art practices. So how is the contribution overall in that field? Talking about the methodology. For this research, I have used both qualitative as well as quantitative case study method, where I have highlighted 4 case studies that I had gone across. So I selected 4 important case studies of female practitioners and women-led initiatives here. So the research included, first one is visual analysis, where I studied about the forms they used, the materials, techniques, and the technologies they have been using. The second is contextual analysis, where I have been studying about social, environmental, and the cultural backgrounds those designers and artists have been using. Thirdly, I'm talking about the comparative method and the reading, wherein I would highlight the understanding of the similarities and the differences between the practices. Fourth one is triangulated sources, where I have tried to include all the interviews and materials that were available on the internet, and the artworks, portfolios, exhibition documents, and the scholarly writings that were already available on the net. So having done the deep study about all these designers and artists, their artworks, their technology, I have sort of tried to have a combination of both qualitative and descriptive case study method. Okay, next one. So my first case study is about Sonia Khurana. She is a very, very renowned artist, and she's a pioneering Indian video and performance art. So her work uses very, very minimal props, body movements, and low resolution video and sound. So she is trying to highlight a very, very sensitive topic through her artwork here, practice here. Also because very low amount of energy is used, not much of props are used. So she is also highlighting the usage of sustainability here. So she's working on that platform also. She shows that digital art does not always need to be highlighted as highly commercial and energy initiatives. So it has to be can be very subtle also. So instead, technology can be simple, thoughtful, and conceptual. So here she is trying to highlight the concept of new media art through a very sensitive manner. Next one, the second case study is about Upashna Ghosh. So she works in digital illustrations, 3D rendering, graphic design, and screen-based media. Here she has used, so this half artwork that I've used, I've not tried to show the full one because I would like you guys to have a look, search about her, because she's a growing artist and a designer also. So here she's trying to use very, very vibrant colors in order to attract all the Gen Zs. And also she had tried to portray all those artworks onto digital platforms, because going to the galleries is not always accessible. So she's tried to create that platform for the artists and designers. So this shows how new media is not passive, but it's actively used. So it creates conversations, spread awareness, and connects communities. She's also highlighted themes such as queer identity, mythology, mental health, and ecological anxiety. So this is the theme she's been working on, keeping in mind that how to portray her subjects to the younger slot and generation. Moving on. So these two that I'm going to show next is an initiative, Sustainable Art Practices. It's a female-led initiative where they work in groups and it's community-based. First one is Mianzi, where a group of people have hired these people in order to create bamboo crafts, which are again talking about sustainability here. So it's a Delhi-based women-run studio, co-founded by Shashank Gautam, and it's again highlighting that how their work is important because bamboo is again a fast-growing and environmentally sustainable material, and it absorbs carbon and supports circular economy practices. Therefore, sustainability is not only about environment, but it's about social and economic growth. Next, I am talking about Ecofemi here. It works on reusable cloth pads and menstrual health awareness. So as we all know that pads that we use are not disposable. It takes a lot of years and years for them to biodegrade. So the main motive of this is very important for sustainable perspective. So disposable sanitary pads create large amounts of non-biodegradable waste and are very difficult to decompose. So this is an initiative that offers eco-friendly alternative through reusable cloth pads. Their work promotes environmental awareness, women's health, and sustainable living together. They also conduct educational programs and community initiatives. So these were the two case studies that I had taken, which were related to sustainable design practices and how, by making them highlighted, it's an initiative by these young artists and designers, and it's a way that, even these sustainable design practices can be carried out by us also in future. Next, I'd be talking about the cross-case patterns that we've studied here. First is that digital and material technologies are being used as expressive tools and not just passive tools. Therefore, in my conclusion, I would want to highlight that women practitioners in India are using new media in innovative, expressive, and socially meaning ways. They are combining technology with craft, ecology, community, and feminist thinking. Their practices show that sustainability is not just about material, but about people, awareness, inclusivity, and long-term responsibility. Finally, this research also highlights the importance of documenting and recognizing the contributions of Indian women and artists and designers in contemporary new media practices. So lastly, to the future scope, we can explore more Indians. It gives stage to new artists and designers to explore more and study about these artists and designers working in AI, virtual reality, augmented reality, interactive installations, and digital sustainability practices. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I would like to request you to be on the stage and to be my co-host for the day. Up next, we have Ms. Anaga with the title, A Study on the Development of a Consumer-Centric Maternity Bra Based on Market Dynamics in Kerala. After her, it's Ms. Shalaka. We are requesting you to be ready.
Good morning to all. I am Anaka with my co-author Prajisha Premraj. We'll be presenting a paper on a study on development of customer-centric maternity bra based on Kerala market. So this study is basically on a product development. It has finding the gaps in the market, finding the solutions, and till the sample developments we have. So the main objective of the study is to analyze the need of maternity bra, whether there is a need of maternity bra in the Kerala market, and if so, what all things required for a maternity bra, what are the requirements for the customers for a maternity bra, and also to find the suitable materials and affordable materials for the customers. So the research design and methodology, we have the research is an explorative and descriptive research, and it's having primary and secondary data. Primary data which contains questionnaires, market surveys, interviews, and customer feedbacks, and secondary research includes offline, online surveys, research papers, trend forecasts, and other papers which is already published. So talking about the innerwear market in India, so the latest studies and the forecast says that after the post-COVID time, there is a boom in the innerwear market. So people started preferring more, comfortable wear rather than going into a fashion outfit. So one of the major example which we can relate to it, now we can see a man or a woman wearing an athleisure wear and going into a mall. Before pre-COVID time, we couldn't actually spot out some people who is wearing an athleisure wear to a mall or for a daily event. So these are some of the scenarios we can relate, saying that innerwear market is actually in the growing stage, and also this statistics shows that almost 10.9% growth is actually said till the 2028. There is going to have high growth in the market. And also one more thing, going into the Kerala market also, the data says that there were much brands which was seen in the Kerala market. Like there were much emerging innerwear brands, and also the advertising for the existing brands have increased during this time. And now going into the maternity bra market, similarly as I said in the innerwear market, maternity bra market is also having a growing phase after the post-COVID, majorly because of the awareness what people have got through the influencers, through other social media platforms about how they have to look, how is there any bust sagging, or the awareness health of breast cancers and all have made people more aware that wearing an adequate size of bra and using functional bra is more necessary in the current scenario. So now directly going into the Kerala market, so I have identified few brands which is actually the major brands which are available in Kerala, which is completely into innerwear. So such 4 brands are Colin Contour, Blossom, Teens, and V-Star. In this also I have categorized the brands, where Blossom and V-Star are those brands which is available in the market since 90s. Whereas Teens and Colin Contour are the brands which was there in the market, but the brand was more visible after the post-COVID time. So these are the brand informations. Blossom, V-Star, these brands started in 1990s and actually had a boom during 2012. Similarly, Teens and Colin Contour also was there in the market. Colin Contour was the brand which actually started in 2022, but it's actually recognized by people, and the brand is having a lot of EBOs now in Kerala market. So now I have identified a few more brands through the survey that other than these 4 brands, people are choosing 2 more other brands, which is Jockey and Zivame. So where they actually look into, these brands are available in Kerala. At the same time, people prefer buying these brands online platform also. So this is actually a comparative study of the product and price ranges of the brands. The first 2 rows actually shows the best-selling products of the brand, and second row show the functional bras which the brands are providing. So when you go in the first 2 rows, we can see that majorly brands are providing similar product category, not much into the, they don't have much of diversity in the products. So majorly the best-selling products are almost same. And going to the functional bra category also, in Kerala they don't have much functional bras. They do have bras, but it don't actually serve the functionality what it actually has to. And this is a material study where we can see that majorly of the brand actually play with lot of materials to increase the properties of the the customers. And design innovations, as I mentioned before, there is no much of design variations found in the innerwear category. They do design variation, but there is no drastic changes in the designs in the innerwears. So from this competitive analysis, what I have found out is Kerala market, there is a need of products which has to meet the functionality of the products, and also there is a need of plus size bras in the market. So some of the key features about what a maternity bra should have is it should have comfortability in the feeding, and also one of the major thing is when you use an appropriate bra, it actually distributes our weight into the body, and it reduces our backaches or whatever it is. So for this, to analyze more into the market, I have done a market survey, and it was through a questionnaire, online and offline. The questionnaire was circulated, and also the main objective of the study was to target into the, my sample size was majorly breastfeeding moms and the expecting moms. So this was the data analysis. So majorly this was the market survey. Here one of the major questions I have asked them was, which are the preferred brands for them, what actually is a comfort zone for you, what all things you need in a maternity bra. So what all things, what they have suggested is, so they need bra which actually adapt to their changes, which has to be flexible with the changes. As we know that during the in the study, it is also showing that people starts buying a bra during their last trimester. So when they are pregnant, till the time they are breastfeeding, they have a lot of changes. So they need a product which is adapting to that changes. So the implementation of this is we are developing a product which is prioritizing the material quality, functional design, and the competitive pricing. And for this, one thing I have introduced here is a wellness fabric. So these are the fabric suggestions which I have chosen, because these fabrics are suggested like seeing the competitive brands and the price range of the product. And one thing I have introduced different from other materials is the Ayur Vastra or Ayu dyeing. So this is actually a wellness clothing where we are dyeing the fabric with Ayurvedic herbs. So if you dye the fabric with those Ayurvedic herbs, the fabric which you are wearing will have those properties of that Ayurvedic materials. Back to the slide. Previous slide. Previous. Okay. So here two dyes I have chosen is yellow and red. Here the yellow dye actually have the properties of anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, antiseptic properties, and also a cooling effect. At the same time, the red dye, which is having herbs like Rakta Chandana, Padimugam and all, have the properties like anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, wound healing, skin regeneration, and also a soothing aroma. So this is the dyeing technique what we have used, and this is the dyeing process. And going into the style suggestions, from the survey I have understood that brands like Blossom, Jockey, Zivame and Visa was the most preferred brand by the customers. So I have chosen the designs from those brands and made little style difference in that, like little functional difference in that while developing the product. So this is the final product which we have developed. So the price range, of the product will be around 500 to 1000, because our customer range was preferring to that price range. And also this is the product which will be developed. And also the materials what we have used is cotton elastic. Next. So yeah. So this is the product which was developed. So one of the functional features I'll explain. As other maternity bra serves, it is having an adjustable strap, easy removable clasp. And one main thing here is we have used the skin-friendly fabric by using iodine. And also the bra cups is a double-layered bra cups with gathering into it. The gathering is added so that the fabric itself, since it's an elastin, it itself has it itself can accommodate the changes, and also the gathering can give more, accommodate more space to it. And also, previously. And also 4x4 I is given. Since it's a plus size bra, it can give more support to the body. And also there is a removable pad area given, since we also found that the breastfeeding mom also have leakages and all, so they can insert absorbent pads to the
Sorry
cups
for interrupting, ma'am.
cups and then it can be solved. So this is the product developed, and it's in the first sample development stage. Done. So I thank Acharya School of Design, our principal and vice principal, and whole department to giving us the opportunity to present the paper on Acharya International Design Conference 2026. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much. I kindly request all the authors to kindly maintain the given time, which is 10 minutes. Please don't exceed it, because we have a lot of other authors to continue with the program. Thank you.
Up next, I call upon stage Ms. Shalakha Patil with the title Beyond the White, the Revival of Brown Cotton for a Water-Conscious Textile Industry.
After Ms. Shalaka, it's Mohammad Muzammil. Kindly be ready.
Good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Shalakha Patil. I am from Interior Design Department. I am the main author for this, and she is my student. She is a co-author for my paper. So our research title is Beyond White, the Revival of the Brown Cotton, a water-conscious pathway for the textile industry.
To understand the textile industry, we have a lot of processes within the textile industry like spinning, weaving, and printing. And these processes in turn give us, it gives us fibers, yarns, fabrics, and other garments that can be used. So this industry plays a very important role in an economical way as well, and in a point of view where it gives employment to lots of people, which in turn helps helps in evolving of the fashion industry and the garment industry. So next we'll have a small introduction to white cotton. So white cotton is one of the most extensively used fabrics throughout the world due to its breathable qualities such as breathability and versatility and how soft it is and other qualities. In the white cotton sector, for white cotton processing itself, we have the amount of water that is used in processes such as dyeing and the cleaning and the processing of it is very high. And due to these challenges, they are looking for more sustainable ways in which cotton can be processed.
So due to these challenges in the textile industries, we are exploring how we can move from conventional cotton to the sustainable cotton, where we will get the water reduction in the textile industry. So this is the resource requirements in an overall textile industry. So if we can see the chart, the most of the percentage, 45% we are using for the water usage. Chemical usage is for the 25%, synthetic dyes we are using for the 20%, and bleaching process we are using 10%. So after seeing this chart, we can see when we are using the conventional cotton, so most of the percentage is going on a water usage. That means when we are using the dyeing process, chemical removing process, so whatever the percentage water we are using for the per kg, that is ultimately it is damaging the environment. It is going into the wastewater side. It is going to the ecosystem and the water bodies. So water crisis in the textile industry. So this is the global scenario we have given here. 20% of the industrial wastewater is going into the after the dyeing process and the chemical removing process. 200 water gallons per pound we are using the water for the textile industry, and more than 8,000 chemicals we are using the synthetic dyes and the different chemicals for the making the fabrics, different types of fabrics.
Okay, so now we've understood how much or how what the impact is of pollution, of how, sorry.
The textile industry is creating much pollution to the environment because of excessive water use, chemical use, and the synthetic dyeing process. The conventional white cotton is a very versatile, but it is also damaging the environment because most of the products we are using the conventional white cotton. Naturally colored cotton is an eco-friendly alternative because it has naturally inherent pigmented color in it. We have some samples, you can just pass it on. So these types of cottons, if we are using for the, instead of the conventional cotton, that will help us to reduce the water consumption in the textile industries. However, the use of the natural cotton is still limited because the pigment which we have naturally inbuilt in the cotton, so the market range is very limited for that. So this research compares the conventional dyed cotton and naturally colored cotton, how we can give the environmental impact, sustainability, and future potential for the existing textile industry. So problem statement. So there are two problem statements I have mentioned. One is for the white cotton, that is the conventional cotton, and one is for the brown cotton. So textile industry is causing, first of all, the high pollution. Then synthetic dyes are excessive. Because of that, we are creating the water pollution and excessive energies we are using. Conventional white cottons require bleaching and drying process. So that is again, we are damaging the environment. Dyeing release the harmful wastewater in the different water bodies. Naturally colored cotton reduces the need of the synthetic dyes, but again there is a challenge how we can fit this type of cotton into the existing textile infrastructure. Limited production of the color because it's naturally colored, and there is a lack of awareness because we only know about the conventional cotton. Need to compare the sustainability of the dyed cotton in the color cotton. So my research gap is how we can get the more data on the white cotton and the brown cotton. Lack of research is there, how we can save the water when we are using this type of cottons for the textile industry. Limited awareness about the naturally colored cotton. Then limited research on the industrial adaptability when we are going to the different types of cotton. So my research objectives are environmental impact analysis. If we are going towards the naturally colored cotton, how we can give the better environmental impact. Material properties, so how the naturally colored cotton can be applicable for the different types of clothing system or the garment manufacturing. Industry challenges, how we can fit this into the existing era because everyone wants to wear a different trend and different colors of the garments. So how we can provide the sustainable role when we are exploring this type of cotton. So my research methodology, so actually my student Gagana, she attended in a vacation workshop in Srishti Manipal. From that we started the one spark, ki how, before that even I don't know that ki how is the brown cotton. Then we started that topic. We done the little bit research about it. We converted that for the graduation project. And from the graduation project, we have done the research paper. Ideation and objective, research approach, data collection, selection of the parameters, comparative analysis between the white cotton and brown cotton, data interpretation, findings and decision, and then conclusion. So few research papers we have done the studies. So one of the research paper I am mentioning, this paper says that this is the water footprint of the cotton consumption. This is published in Ecological Economics in 2006. This paper shows that how we can save the water with the help of removing the dyeing process. These are the two case studies. Again, these two case studies plays a very important role. In that, I found out the key features like how we can eliminate the steps which are required for the standard cottons, and how we can eliminate the steps which when we are using the brown cotton. So when we have done the case studies, research paper, we have studied the research paper and different industry reports, we found out the data for the brown cotton. So there are 9 to 10 steps are required, like desizing, cleaning, bleaching, washing, dyeing, fixing, final washing, softening, and dyeing finishes. So this is the water consumption is required for the each and every step. Same is for the colored cotton. But in a color cotton, we can reduce the first initial stages, water consumption in a very lower side. So this is the comparative analysis between the white cotton and brown cotton. So if we can see the comparison, same steps are required, but we can eliminate the steps like dyeing process and the dye bath preparation and the washing process. So if we are going with a white cotton, per 50 to 60 liter per kilogram, we require a water consumption. When we are going with a naturally pigmented, that is a brown cotton, we are almost reducing the half of it, 15 to 30% of the liter per kilogram. So we are reducing almost 50 to 70% of the water. So final insights is 50 to 70% we are doing the reduction of the water when we are going with a naturally pigmented cotton. The process we can do the elimination, fewer processes are required. So here we can do the almost half of the water saving, we can do it. So future directions and challenges. So here the production sale is limited because the lack of awareness about how we can cultivate that crop, how we can use the brown cotton in day-to-day life. Color range is restricted because the naturally pigmented cotton, we are eliminating the dyeing stage. Then fiber quality concerns, how that brown cotton will be helpful for the different applications in the clothing brand. Then market awareness gap. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We now call Mr. Mohammad Muzammil on stage. After Mr. Mohammad, it's Miss Niveda Chandrasekharan. We are requesting you to kindly be ready.
So good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Mohammad Muzammil, Assistant Professor from Crescent School of Architecture from Chennai. So my research paper, which is titled on AI-driven sustainable build framework for climate resilient cities in India. So it's probably towards a urban future. So as we all know that how artificial intelligence can support more resilient and adaptive and towards a perfect urban development in our Indian cities. So more or lessly, we will start with the background of study where we have a multiple overlapping pressures all over the states, like flooding, heat stress, water shortage, air quality deterioration, and overstretched developments. So these are like recently happening over a stretch of time. So how this paper will be focusing more on how AI can be not as a technological support, but as an integrated or embedded system which can support through architectural, sustainable and planning systems. So the motivation for the research is mainly on the digital in our smart city initiatives by the government, which has like digital layer has overpaced the regional developments underneath this, the regional development under the cities. So the technology system has expected to be rapidly increasing, but the connections with the architectural and planning departments are very less when compared to other systems which we have developed. So starting from the objectives, the main focus is how AI can support architecture, urban design and planning practices, which can be like leading to all these criteria. And for the comparative analysis or the study part, I have chosen the southern part of India, like Chennai and Bangalore. So because they have a more contrasting urban problems which need to be addressed in the upcoming years. So first we will examine AI can support architecture, urban design. Then the case studies are Chennai and Bangalore. Then with this case study analysis, we are framing a framework which the AI can be integrated into a multi-scalar framework for climate resilient cities. So the main research question is how it can be embedded into three categories. So if we take, first it has to be from building, then it comes under neighborhoods, then after implementing into the building and neighborhood, it has to be interpreted to for the environmental scale or the district level scale. So these are the literature reviews which is being done. Actually the paper is on a conceptual framework. I have done on conceptual framework and creating a framework synthesis. So from the case studies I have widely used from the Betty and as well as the Sharfi. However, most studies will discuss mostly on smart city technology and climate resilience separately, but only the few studies which will connect as how AI can be embedded into the systems. Across multiple scales, as I already said, it has to be started from building, neighborhoods and metropolitan scale. So the methodology will be like a qualitative comparative conceptual framework, which we start from literature review, policy analysis, comparative analysis, then we'll have the framework synthesis. So first we will start about on the research framework, which we started from urban challenges. So what are the problems we are facing in three categories: building level, neighborhood level and metropolitan scale. Then we short down into or narrow down into southern states, which is Chennai and Bangalore, which is like rapid growing urban cities. Then how AI can be implemented through different set of criteria like data collection, IoT, remote sensing, GIS, machine learning. So then with three categories, we'll split down into building scale, neighborhood scale and city scale. So with these three categories which we solve, we can interpret it into a better urban future. So these are the comparative analysis we have done and jot down into a specific aspects between Chennai and Bangalore case studies. The first one is climate and hazard. Second is water scarcity, mobility and transport, environmental ecology, built environment and infrastructure, then social economic challenges and opportunities and strength. As we are part of architectural and design, we need to focus on social inclusion also, which has to be a bigger concern. So based on the criteria have been jotted into climate responsiveness, the aspects be climate responsiveness, social inclusion, ethical governance and institutional capacities. So So more than 30 to academics and policies over been studied over like last 10 years. The Chennai and Bangalore has been the key cities which has been facing the lot of problems across this. But we have, but still we have implementing the smart cities. But the technological intervention or AI-based things are not being implemented as that it has to be like a problem-solving thing, or it has to be a city-specific or the context-specific. So one of the major highlight is how it's AI is being embedded into the particular systems. Actually, the technology does not like making the city resilient, but it has to be like meaningfully, if the residents are getting benefited in the 3 scales, then it terms him to be a resilient city. The study also reinforces on social technological thinking, where urban outcomes depends on interaction between technology, governance, infrastructure, and spatial design. So all this put together, we have just a framework, started to framework on how it can be implemented. So from starting that, we can integrate from the building scale like smart facade system based on the climatical aspects and the temperature. We can introduce on the AI based on the climate, and we can change the facade systems, which will be benefiting the building level scale. Then green streets, flood adaptive public spaces. In Chennai's case study, we prone to see more flood prone areas due to improper planning of the flood management systems. Lack of storm management systems also. Then in the metropolitan scale, we'll be thinking in terms of transit-oriented development, where we will be cutting down to carbon emissions. So these are like methods or implementation steps to gradually across like 2025 to across 2035, like a 10 years plan, where we will be implement on building level, street level, neighborhood, and the metropolitan scale. So these are like implementation vision, key actions, like from the building we can have a climate hotspot. For municipal level system, we'll tend to integrate flood-prone systems of water-prone areas to be designately given like buffer areas. It has to be treated in a green space. So these are the criteria which has been said. First, we'll start from the building level. Due to the smart facade system, we'll have energy optimization, HVAC lighting, and smart materials, indoor environmental quality. And from the next neighborhood scale, we'll talk in terms of walkability, green roofs, green streets, biocivil methods for stormwater management. Then in city scale, we do specifically focusing on land use forecasting, infrastructure planning, and more specifically on Bangalore scale, the traffic and the congestion relatable problems. So as a part of conclusion, the research proposes a multi-scalar AR framework for climate resilient developments in India. The findings are that AA should be a broader urban transformation rather than functioning as an isolated technology. It has to be embedded. From the start of my presentation, I'm just focusing towards the AA has to be not as a technology driven. It has to be imparted with in each and every terms of architectural planning and interior design also. So ultimately, the smarter cities should not only be more efficient, it has to be more resilient, inclusive, and livable. Thank you so much for your valuable time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Before moving forward, we have with us one of our panelist members, Mr. Rakesh. We welcome you, sir. Thank you so much for coming over here.
Up next, we have Ms. Niveta with the title, A Qualitative and Quantitative Analysis of Solar Panel Features in Vernacular Houses on Hilly Region to Achieve Thermal Comfort.
After Ms. Niveta, it's Ms. Dhanushri KM. Kindly be ready with your presentation.
Good afternoon. This is Nivedha Chandrasekharan. I'm assistant professor from Acharya School of Design. So my topic is on a qualitative and a quantitative analysis of a solar passive strategies in vernacular housing on a hilly region to achieve the thermal comfort. So we'll just move into the basic topic of the solar passive in the hilly region. In that case, it will be a heating strategy. So research motivation is on, it's a study on the solar passive features of vernacular structures in the Kodaikanal. It's a Pumbare village, hilly terrains. So research approach is on 3 limited residential units in Pumbare, varying in materials. And it focuses mostly on the orientation of the building, so towards northwest. And my finding is on which material, about 3 materials I have did my research part, in that which materials will have thermally comfortable in that particular climate. So basic study on the vernacular architecture. So vernacular architecture is not about the architects or the builders will design. It's done by the local people around the environment. So I have did like 20 papers for the reference, which focuses mostly of passive solar strategies, which has a climate study mostly, and then no fuel energy or solar systems. So 20 papers on that. So by the analysis of all the 20 papers, I have done my research part. So coming into solar passive heating strategies, it will be mostly, we have few categories. In that case, first thing is based upon the building orientation of the particular part. And then we have insulation materials, thermal mass materials, wind protections, and earth sheltering. So the first part is in the solar passive heating strategy, we have mostly the building will be oriented based upon the south direction, because in the north side we have more of wind, cold air. In that case, the sun will travel via south direction, so we have more of openings on south directions. So mostly large south facing windows, thermal mass materials, earth sheltering, and sun space. More of sun needs to be there in the part of the space. And my methodology is based upon all my research thing, and then study article, my abstract, and we have a qualitative study which focuses mostly on topography, climatic conditions, housing typology, building orientation, building envelope, and shading components. My quantitative will be on the experimental study, which I went to the particular village, and then I did the field survey measurements of temperature and the RH, and I have done the simulation to prove which materials will give a thermal comfort in that particular part. So my site selections, coming to the site selection, so I have done the hilly region topographical layout, which where my site is Pumbare, Kodaikanal in Tamil Nadu. So this is the basic study of each category which needs to give a solar passive heating strategy. First comes under building orientation, so perfect direction is south orientation to absorb more of radiation from the sun, to provide more warm space inside the building. Next comes under design fenestration, the openings of the space, mostly on the south direction, because they need to give more of warm radiation rather than the north side. And the provision of cross ventilations, we have certain strategies, sashes, louvers, and canopies. Building materials plays a major role. They have more of stone, rammed earth, mud brick, wood, stone slab, and insulation materials. And all together put it into the aesthetics and the facade design. And window wall ratio plays a major role, because we need to provide certain ratios at the certain orientation of the building. We can't keep maybe the bigger side of the window on the north side, because in the hilly terrain we have more cold air in the north part. So my research article, so I have went to this beautiful village in Kodaikanal, it's Pumbare village, where it has been spreaded by the temple, it's a Murugan temple, and then the settlement that started in the contour level. The beautiful thing is that they didn't never destroy any topographical layout. They just construct all the housing typology on the terrain. This is the village and this is the Google map of that village. You can see the contour lines and which has been aligned with all the residential unit. And the climatic study, the average rainfall throughout the year, cloud average, the sun directions, the solar elevation, the azimuth in the Kodaikanal, and humidity level, RH level, wind directions and rainfall throughout the area. So now the building orientation is that I have done 3 types of building materials. One is the local language Alaku stick, it's a Alaku kuchi with a mud plaster. Second type is stone random rubble, and third is the nowadays construction, it's a brick wall and the RCC. These are the building envelope, that is the Alaku kuchi with a mud plaster and stone rubble and the RCC building. And the shading components comes into a small building, a small window and the slope roof. And the experimental study of the quantitative part comes into the measurement of the digital hygrometer. So I have measured for 5 days literally. So I have recorded all the outdoor and the indoor temperature of the particular, all the 3 types of residential zone. This is the type 1. This is the type 1 home. It's a mud plaster with a Alaku stick, and the recordings are there with the plants and the chart of the temperature and the RH. Second house is stone rubble with all the 5 days of RH and the temperature and the charts of temperature and RH. Third house is nowadays like brick and the RCC construction, its readings and the temperature and the RH and the chart, flow chart. So with these 3 materials, I have done the BIM, like a rivet in that. We have Adobe Inside. Using that plugin, I have proved that the first material, which is locally available material, which is the Alaku stick, it has more thermal comfort than the other 2 materials. So the conclusion is that it's the best material to survive in that particular thing. So my concluding is that nowadays we are not considering sustainable aspect of the materials. So we need that material to be there in that particular region. We can't do a stone rubble in a heat region. So that particular place requires that particular material. So design with nature is my conclusion. Build with climate, not against it. Do not destroy the existing features. Use nature as thermal shield and design for less energy and more harmony.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Up next, we have Ms. Dhanushri with the title, The Digital Product Passport, DPP, as a strategic catalyst, transforming circular economy challenges into competitive advantage through blockchain and AI.
After Ms. Dhanushri, it's Ms. Suvida. We are requesting you to kindly be ready.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Dhanushri, Assistant Professor in Acharya School of Design with a Management of Finance and Marketing degree. So when I was doing my post-graduation project, I got to know about how blockchain technology is being used in financial transaction to keep it more transparent, accurate, and how exactly it's been useful. So when we are doing think about AI or a sustainable practices and inclusive towards a product productions, we got an idea, we RPR members, me and my co-author, in his absence, Shivkumar sir, we were thinking about how the sustainable practices can be included by using AI and blockchain technology. So my topic is the digital product passport as a strategic catalyst. transforming secular economic challenges into a competitive advantage through blockchain and AI. So these are the agenda for the day. So when we are talking about the product passport, digital product passport of the product, we are here about Europe Union, which has been established about economic designs, which has been included in sustainable practices. They are being established in the European country, especially in the year of 2024. They are being inclusive, this particular ideas, to reduce the impact of a chemical products being infused into the product and bringing more sustainable practices so that there'll be a green product, sustainable product by 2030s. So the things which they are focusing as of now, the sustainable transparency, and the main thing, converting the secular economic goals into a digital product passport. So it has been effective from the July 2024, extending a legal binding standards for durability, repairability, recyclability, and the waste reduction to nearly all the tangible goods. So what exactly this studies helps us in knowing? 50% reduction in the resource by 2030. So whatever the total overall cost they are being infused to produce the product, that will be reduced almost 50% by using AI and blockchain. So this is how the economic action plan has been taken to have a huge, great change. So what exactly the digital product passport, how it will work? So this will be a QR codes and NFC tags being in the products. Whenever you are going to buy a product, you will be getting a digital bill of it to your mail or the phone number whenever you do a transaction. When you do that, along with the bill, if they are providing you a QR codes or the NFC tags, so that you can easily understand where that product is being germinated from exactly by the step 1 till it reaches you. What made it, from where did you get the raw materials, what are the procedure it's been gone through, and how exactly they are claiming it as sustainable. So a digital record for the product life cycle contains materials, repair and recycling details, access through a QR codes or NFC tags, improves the product transparency. So those who are saying to be claimed as we are giving a sustainable product and being caught in a greenwashing, that can be reduced by this introduction of digital product passports through maintaining a product transparency. So there are 3 crucial gaps while converting the secular economy into a digital, that is information gap, trust gap, and efficiency gap. So whenever we are looking into the information gap, it is about we are not exactly knowing how it is being claiming to be a sustainable, where they exactly procure this product, how exactly they're being processed, used, and when we don't have this information, when we are going for the recycle or reuse, it is nowhere been useful without a proper data, proper information to be claimed as a sustainability. So, and the trust gap. Whenever the customers having this trust issues with the brand, it makes their brand to be going a lower by the day passes in the sales. But we have this trust gap to be filled by using a digital product passport. It increases their brand loyalty and also the phase of sustainability. So efficiency gap, materials requires and recycle rates remains below 20% in many sectors, impeding a secular transaction. This is what the efficiency gap will be reduced by 20%. And what is the role of blockchain technology into this? That is, see, there will be, as a name itself says, that it has a block building using a chain link in it, where it is very hard to change the data which is being stored. So you can't change the data once it is stored in. It is very hard to do it. So easily we can, so those people who are trying to be manipulating the information, giving a fake knowledge about the product, that can be reduced and we can have a traceability. Imputable decentralized ledgers provides a tamper-proof traceability from a raw material to a disposal. Closing the trust defects, pilot the implementation shows up to a 40% reduction in the traceability errors. Creates a tamper-proof product records, improves the trust and traceability. So we'll be having a track, even the product, that is a manufacturers will be having a traceability tracking about the product, how it has been used and how it has been used and what exactly it will be going through, on what stages it has been, how efficiently it's been used, and what exactly we can do this product, how we can buy back from the customers and reduce our cost from a next production, and what exactly can be used with the same used materials. Tracks raw materials to final disposal, reduce the fraud and fake sustainable claims. So AI optimization, the function of AI, machine learning models for the waste classification, demand forecasting, and productive maintenance enables the product as a service. This model is being lightly used, not being much focused, but whenever we are giving a product, it is not only the product which is being sold and kept after being sold, after being purchased by a customer, we are keeping it we have only sales records. Apart from that, we cannot track that product, but when we are doing with this model, product as a services, we'll be having a track of our own product so that we can get buyback it. So keep products in a value through a lies. Yes. This is about the AI optimization. Methodology, it is a qualitative and the conceptual study. It's gone through several journals papers and focus based on the digital product passport, blockchain and AI, sustainable benefits and a business advantage. So what are my findings? 30% lower cost materials possible, 20 to 40% improvements in recycling efficiency, customer transparency and long-time business values, life cycling transparency, blockchain traceability and business values with a secular economic support. The raw materials will be reduced by 30%, that can be achievable. Customer value authenticity 81% and higher recycling recovery 35% and supply chain cost is 20%. These are the challenges because it's been focused towards a European and also the norms of European countries. That is again one of the challenge, and the data and the larger scale is important for this to establish. It is again one of the challenge, and using a synergy to explode with the AI and a blockchain, that is again one more challenge. These are the challenges can be addressed in a future studies. These are the takeaways. A profit engine can be improved and the traceability and the strategic implementation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Up next, we have Ms. Suvita with the title Affordable Fashion versus Sustainable Fashion. Why consumers choose synthetic fibers?
After Ms. Suvita, it's Dr. Soumya T. We are requesting you kindly to be ready. This is the forward, this is the
yes. Good afternoon on all present here. My name is Suvita. I'm an assistant professor at IAFT, Indian Institute of Fashion Technology. Today I'm here to present a paper on affordable fashion and sustainable fashion. Whereas why consumers choose synthetic fibers? There might be a question mark. Consumers, why will they choose fibers? It's a garment, right? But when the consumer have the knowledge about the fibers only, there will be some changes will happen to the sustainable practices. That's why it's been kept as a fibers. So when it comes to the introduction, several years, there are many awareness programs about the sustainable products. Close. Okay. There are many sustainable programs, awareness programs has been created to know about the sustainable products, but how far it is implemented on the market? Only for the marketing strategy they'll be using it, but when it comes to the product development, we can't see the right sustainable products. When it is discarded on the planet, it landfills and carbon footprints will be increased. Whereas this study is important because it promotes eco-friendly fashion and it gives an awareness to the manufacturer as well as the designer. And also, however, many local apparel manufacturing sectors lag behind the sustainable knowledge. To make the products in a sustainable way, this paper will be helping them to go ahead. And this study helps understand why consumer prefers synthetic despite knowing that there is so many hazardous things is happening to the environmental as well as the human body health. But still, people are going for the affordable fashion where the products are available cheaply on the footpath and many other areas. So, synthetic garments and lasting damage. Why we should not opt for the synthetic garments? When it comes to the synthetic, fossil fuel, based on the production, the fossil fuels will be evolved more, and then high carbon footprints. When there is a high carbon footprints, there is a chances of contributing to the climate changes more oftenly. And then microfiber pollution. When it comes to the washing of the synthetic fibers, it produces more number of microplastics, so it is really very difficult to filter it. So it enters to the water, whereas when aquatic animals start to eat the micro waste products, so that it enters to the food chain for the non-vegetarian people. And long-term environmental impacts on the synthetic fibers are pollutes the ocean and fresh water, and then contaminates the soil, which doesn't allow the earth to grow the plants. So, and then can become airborne, whereas the microplastic will be floating on the air. When we inhale that, it affects the human health also. Okay, here, one picture, two aspects. Whereas it comes to the synthetic garments, where most of the places like footpath shops and local shops, and it is available in very minimum price, where people can be buying it so easily, but without knowing the knowledge of the impact on the environment. And then the second picture, it speaks about the sustainable garment, whereas it is ethical and responsible, and natural organic fibers like cotton, linen, hemp are used, whereas the high in quality and the price is also high, where common people like a low wage people could not able to afford for the sustainable garments. That's the reason where the people are going for the synthetic fibers and use the garments. And literature review. When it comes to the literature review, the existing study, it just highlights the environmental impacts, but it lags behind seeing the consumer affordability. And synthetic fibers contribute significantly to the environmental pollutions, particularly microplastic and contaminated waste. Fast fashion has accelerated, and most of the time people are concentrating more on the problems which is occurred by using the synthetic fibers, not on the affordability of the consumers. Research gaps. When it comes to the research gap, as I said, the affordability has to be taken into consideration, and affordable, sustainable products to be produced, and then insufficient studies on the affordability and accessibility and sustainable fashion adoption. When we look into this more, maybe some percentage of the synthetic waste landfills can be reduced. And lack of practical solutions. Being in a teaching field, I myself feel, are we doing justice to the sustainability? Whenever a student come up with any project title, are we seeing the sustainability? No. How it reaches to the people, how people will be admiring it. Based on the concept, we'll be accepting the concept and working on it. But we have to focus more into the sustainability of the product, whereas each and every step matters in sustainability. And lack of and minimal focus on the consumer behavior. Whereas here, consumers' behavior matters a lot. A person will be going to a shop and buying anything just by seeing the color combination, silhouette of the product, and the affordability and how comfortable he is wearing, rather than the fiber knowledge if he is having. the landfills may be reduced. And research methodology. When it comes to my research methodology, it is a descriptive research. Data are collected through the journals, reports, and reliable online sources, and consumer insights based on the observation and general purchasing pattern of a people. Right now, I'm standing here, I can see many of the synthetic saris and many of the synthetic things. Where to avoid this, how to avoid this is what my question here. Whereas this paper is completely about the product, how consumers are choosing. And future scope. When it comes to the future scope, consumer behavior through the primary data collection, conducting surveys, interviews, and questionnaires directly with the consumers can provide more accurate insights why a consumer is choosing a synthetic fibers. And development of low-cost sustainable materials, it is a challenge in this world to provide a shop. Whereas when we go to any market, we can see 10 shops. Among that 10, one will be the sustainable shop. So it is really a difficult task to make this into a practical practice. But when we implement this into this, somehow we can reduce the landfills. And impact of digital platforms on sustainable fashion awareness, whereas people will be relying on the social medias, online shopping, and the influencers who doesn't have any knowledge about the product will be giving a review on the product. We have to avoid that and go for the product which is really good for the environment as well as our skin. Implications. The study provides useful implications for the future research, academic learning, and practical application. These findings may help institutions, researchers, and professionals in improving related practices and strategies. The research also highlights the areas that require further study and developments. Conclusion. When it comes to the conclusion, the study highlights a critical challenge in the fashion industry, balancing the affordable with sustainability. While synthetic fibers dominate due to economic advantage, their environmental impact cannot be ignored until unless each one person think about the synthetic fibers. And future works of this is how to critically avoid choosing synthetic fibers and encouraging sustainable choices over synthetic fibers. Acknowledgement. Firstly, I would like to acknowledge myself for setting my mind to do my presentation, and I also extend my heartfelt thanks to my family and the institution which helps me to stand here and speak, and a special thanks to Acharya College which has given me a platform to share my idea. These are the references. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Up next, we have Dr. Soumya T. with the title, A Pilot Study on the FAL-G-Based Sustainable Building Blocks.
Good afternoon to one and all present here. This is Dr. Soumya from Civil Department, AIT, Acharya Institute of Technology. So I'm very grateful to our AIDC team that this is the second time I'm presenting. Last year also I was being the part of this. So last time was also the sustainability, the topic which I have chosen, and this time I just want to go to a little bit like old topic. It seems to be an old topic, but since the education towards implementation is quite lagging even till today, if I just look back into the literature survey, which I'll be showing now, so even in 2025, if I just look at the scientific reports and other renowned journals, we are able to see the gaps being identified for this topic, and even again and again the researches have been happening in 2025 also. Just to bring that education back to research mode, I wish to take this topic. My co-author is Dr. P.S. Niranjan sir, and he is now heading the civil department in Acharya Institute of Technology. Actually, this is my sir's work. He has worked for it for his PhD time, and he has shared some of the data also, and he wished to present this for AIDC, so I am here. So moving on to the topic, Falgi-based sustainable building blocks. Sustainability is a very trendy topic, to be very frank. But when it comes to implementation, as the other previous authors, they have expressed their concern towards the challenges regarding implementation part. But when I come to this topic, this is a like kind of topic where it is very easy for someone to prepare a Falgi block and be the market product, and also they can enhance their sustainability flagship also. To that matter, I have kept some of my studies over here. So you might have already heard about this combination, but I just want to like implement on what combinations can suit for the practical implementation based on the researches we have done so far. So Falgi combination, as the title itself gives a small description, that fly ash plus lime plus gypsum, the combination of the materials. So the significance of this combination is that we all have heard about OPC, PPC, all possible combinations, but this combination is an exact 100% replacement to cement. That seems to be quite interesting because till now we have studied about a 50% replacement of cement with something else as a sustainable material, maybe only fly ash, only pond ash, something of that sort. But when it comes to 100% replacement of cement, and we are using some of the combinations which can do the same task for the building blocks, might not be up to the mark for an RCC or any structural implementation, but we can go for it as a mortar material or a building block material by using this combination, is the finding of my study. So when we are making the combination of fly ash, lime and gypsum, first it is very important for us to know the availability of the fly ash, even though in this generation of having renewable energy resources being used as the sources. But even then we have across like globe around more than 1 billion tons of fly ash is being generated per year annually. And in India itself, we have 232 million tons of fly ash being available from the thermal power plants. As you all know about the basics of fly ash, I really don't want to go deep into that. So that source should not end up as a dumping material. It is not so, because earlier it was the trend, 20 years before that was a trend where it was ending up as a dumping material, but today is not the trend. Every waste material, it is finding its way to a sustainable product, and this is one such attempt. So the significance of this study focus obviously on eco-friendly concept, as we are not dumping it and as a dumping material unnecessarily, which is rich in silica and also a pozzolanic material. And zero carbon emission, as I have told you. When you are going to replace something with cement, first we have to think of the amount of energy we spent on producing the cement in the production plant. For a temperature of 1500 to 1600 centigrade, we need to like burn the raw material powder to get the slurry, get the clinker, get it processed, mill it, pack it. The process seems to be very non-eco-friendly. So when we are cutting on all that like temperature or energy being used, or else high degree of temperature being used in the production plant, we are replacing it with something already available, just like you will be like doing this cook without fire, right? Something of that sort. We are cooking blocks without fire. Just take the waste material, fly ash, and lime is not the waste material, but it's a very important binding agent that we can't call it as waste, but that's also a part of cement production, but we take it in a raw way, not in a process way. And the third one is gypsum. I'll go deep into gypsum role in the combination in further slides. So when you're going to make this combination, it is zero carbon emission. I'm not even bargaining about 0.001% that this and all. It's 100% eco-friendly. Industrial waste like fly ash, gypsum, pond ash, quarry dust, these are the combinations we have tried. I have only mentioned fly ash over here. Even pond ash and quarry dust is also a kind of material when it comes to blocks. We want it, the solid part of the like or chunk of the material should be filled with the solid material, so we have used quarry dust. Even that is also waste material, or is like secondary waste. So just for an example of how we have done the research work is about the cylindrical Falgi mortar molds. We have casted both bricks and cylinders for testing the compressive strength and also the setting time. The cost approximately 30% less than the concrete blocks. As I have told you, the temperature itself is going to kill maximum of the energy and meanwhile the economy. The strength we are able to achieve for that block will be 4 MPa, which is acceptable as per building codes. So applications, we can go for partition walls and main walls also for that matter. Buildings with low story height, and we cannot promise that if a multi-story building of more than, like if it crosses 5 stories, this might not be applicable because we are targeting on 4 MPa. That is what is going to be obtained. So we can, for the lower height buildings, even that also is a good number in India, so we can even implement it confidently for the lower height buildings. And the research gaps, I'll go to the literature review, then we'll come back to this, why it is so. My objectives of the study, we have tested it for the paste properties, and we have tested it for the CLSM concept. So CLSM is a code word being used for all the research activities. So there, compressive strength of the Falgi paste as a controlled low strength material is what is our target. And we are going to explore how potential it is in strength performance also by the mortar blocks. And this is a machine they'll be using generally for all the blocks. And this is a size we have freezed on. I'll just tell you about the size. So these are the literature review. And as I have focused, as I just now told, 2025 I'm able to get, if I search today, almost my 10 papers are 2025 only. So till now people are gone exploring Falgi blocks, means there is 100% a gap. That itself is a gap. It is still ending up in a research article level, means it is not 100% full-fledged in the practicing part. So that itself is the role of the gap we are supposed to fix it upon. So here even biochar journal and even in scientific reports we can see 2 papers I have got. It is going to enhance thermal properties of it, and many others been explored, and I have not touched upon that for my experimentation. Just moving on to the methodology. Falgi paste, I have taken 2 phases. One is setting characteristics, where gypsum plays a major role in setting properties. And in second phase, as I told you, it is for the CLSM. Falgi mortar blocks, I have taken the combination of fly ash, lime and gypsum. That will act as a binding material. If just a paste study, that will be the combination. If it is a mortar blocks we are going to prepare, I am introducing quarry dust to that to fill the gap. And these are the 4 proportions I have chosen. Mortar proportion 1:0.5, 1:1, 1:1.5, and 1:2. And that is only for the mortar, and how it binds with the actual binder property. These are the 4. 60-30-10 act as M1 combination, M2. 50-40-10 is the M3 combination, and M4. I have reversed it. I just want to bring it to your notice. Cylinder 38 mm dia and 76 mm long, and compression blocks of that dimension. So if I'm able to see the setting time, my mix which is going to give best output is M3. We can see or witness it in the chart. Initial setting time up to first 30 minutes to 200 minutes of that sort, because it is fly ash based. As we all know the fundamentals, fly ash is a secondary strength giving material. It is not going to give its strength in the first 28 days. So it is needed for us to go for the long-term studies. So I have given here up to 90-day study and also further long one. Whereas it comes to final setting time, it can push the setting time up to 1534 for a combination of M3, that is 50-40-10 combination. So this is about the variation in compressive strength, and for the water to binder ratio of 0.2 I have explored it to be a best performer. And this is a static compaction device I have used for the small cylinders. And about the long-term studies, as I have told you, from 7 days to 450 days when we tested, this graph in the second phase is also going to give water binder ratio of 0.2. That is a combination for 50, 40 and 10. I have chosen only that graph because that is the optimum performer for my combinations. And when we come for the results of CLSM, so the water content, what it is taking, it is getting reduced in percentage M3, and M4 it has optimized. And relative flow area means how much it can spread without any artificial compaction. It is up to 5.203 for M3, the best performer. And when we come for the mortar blocks, again the strength graph keeps on increases, because there the ratios has to be freezed based on their performance practically. Even durability comes to picture. That part I have not touched on as of this thing. When I want to conclude this, the optimum combination for the Falgi blocks, fly ash we can go for 50%, lime 40% and gypsum 10%. And it is the best suitable material for CLSM, that is controlled low strength material, and eco-friendly replacement for the building blocks also. When we touch upon the sustainability aspect, it is going to depend, it is not going to depend on clay, very important, because every time when clay is the raw material for the silica part of the cement production, every time we have to remove the topsoil, which is very fertile on earth, which can be used for other useful purpose than being a cement-ended property. So instead of that, if I am going to use, in place of soil, the byproduct fly ash, that is going to achieve the 100% sustainability. And it is going to obviously reduce the CO2 emission. As I have told you, there is no temperature being involved or heating being involved. Just a compaction we are going to give to that block, and it is going to give 4 MPa strength. And automatically it is going to promote a circular economy by utilizing the fly ash. As I told you, 232 million tons of fly ash in India we are now available with, and 70% of it is already under recycling thing. How many numbers are going to use this material as an industry input or raw material? That much we can be towards sustainability is the comment from my end. So these are the references I have gone through. I have listed from very long before, but 2025 is my findings. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. After the presentations, we now move on to the track 3 panel discussion session.
For the panel discussion session, we request Mr. Rakesh to please come forward to the stage. Along with Mr. Rakesh, we invite Ms. Rashmi, Ms. Diya, and Mr. Muzammil to come on the stage. Ms. Rashmi. We would like to call Dr. Soumya also to be one of the panelists.
Hello, everybody. I think it was one of the wonderful session. I think since morning I am listening all the papers from fabric to the neighborhood. I think, and that's a good set of people right in front of us to start that discussion. I look what you're talking about, AI-driven approach for the neighborhood, and you're talking about the climate design code. Can you integrate Soumya's thing, and can you able to integrate the fabric, what she's, sorry, I forgot her name. Ramita is talking about sustainable fabric, natural fabric coming into the picture as part of an integrated approach to create a sustainable, some sort of coding for the people to be cautious all the time when the technology is such an important point in our life nowadays. So anything which we start with our day-to-day life to the city scale level, can we integrate these independent research which is happening or the independent work which is happening to an integrated lifestyle coding? Instead of saying climate design coding, it can be the lifestyle coding based on that. So can we look into that perspective?
So as we are it's in the conceptual stage that how AI is getting implemented. First, we start with building codes and the environmental capacity, where we just categorize in the building codes. Like the development is rapid urbanization. If we talk in terms of Chennai or talk in terms of Bangalore cities, is getting implemented will be first we have to cut down rapid development, where every site has been, first we need to understand what the context is, then we have to go for the site has to be developed in that context. Without understanding the contextual of the site, just randomly developing it as in the commercial or residential or any other type of buildings. First we need to break it down, the context, the problems, then we use the AI to understand the climate as well as the current scenario or the errors which is being developed through the getting crossover the building codes. I think the AI can just reduce the task of the building developments getting rapid urbanization. It has to be like a controlled progression. So I think that's the way we can have a gradual development with using AI. So it won't be as a forced a technological implementation, but has to be as a controlled progressions over the years.
So even my words are in line with sir, but one important observation what we can bring it to the point is, even though the students and AI, technology, everything is moving in a very speedy way, sometimes I call it as a wrong route, the direction in which it is supposed to go, first should start from a proper point, and I'm lacking that in the codes. To be very frank with you all, we are unable to see, for example, IS 456-2000 is the code which is like Bible for us civil engineers to do any fundamental structural designing. It itself will say that IS 456-2000. We are in 2022, every Euro codes and every other American codes, ASTM codes get revised at least 2 years once, approximately 2 years. So they just take the technology imbibed into the codes very fast. So it is easy for us, for the students or the practitioners in their country to get to know the authentic data through codes very fast. So it is easy for them to sort the data and put into AI and all that. But in India, we are lacking with a kind of codes being outdated. I have one design of bridges code book to be very precise with you. It is in 1987 for pipe culverts. It has not yet been revised as of now. Even the revisions will take too much of time, too many recommendations, comments, and by the time it get implemented, again the new technology might have also arisen. Even the mixed designs also. I am speaking about fly ash. Fly ash is now I am speaking, and it is already in the practicing part. In codes it is there. But there are many such materials like SCBA, sugarcane bagasse ash, rice cash. We want them to be in codebook very fast. As soon as the research is happening, the authenticity has to be immediately implemented through the boards to the codes. Then we can immediately transfer that through the, being academicians, it is easy for us to transfer that information. If it is there in code, authentically we can tell the students. We will ask the students to do literature review. You all know how they end up with the literature reviews. So they don't even be able to figure out the direction in which they have to focus on for the literature reviews. So better the literature reviews if they are there in the codal level, then in code stage, India can progress implementing the revisions fast. It is easy for us to integrate even to AI also. AI is the final thing. It is not that time consuming as per my knowledge. Time consuming is sorting the data and authenticating the data before inputting it to the AI. Unlike other branches, it is not that easy for civil engineering data to be ready-made implemented without any proper background check with research and other aspects. So this is my perspective towards implementing AI is a very far off part. But if we sort this junk, what is there, we cannot say it as junk also. We have the data, but it is not sorted. We have to sort it in the this level, technical level. Then implementing that to AI will be, we can speed it up. That's my point. Thank you. Thank you.
Because I feel India is still growing in terms of AI. So whenever I teach my students regarding the usage of AI, I always ask them to use it in a very controlled manner, because it is still growing and it still needs a lot of corrections. Yet, when we compare it with other countries, we still are at the threshold of getting developed. And also one more suggestion is we should always have a concept which should be more individual. In whichever field, be it interior design or be it fashion or be it animation, the individuality should be one main point. The rawness of your designs, the conceptual development, it should be your own. Then we can use AI as a helping hand, where we can always get advantages and we can cut time, which we used to actually have a lot of time wastage onto researching and a lot of other factors. But now with the emergence of AI, we have a lot of advantage regarding that also. In terms of sustainability, again, because of what I have mentioned, is that due to climate change and other factors, sustainability is something we all should be imbibing, be it in clothing, be it in interiors or in any other field. So that is why I mainly focused on Mianzi, which I was talking about, and Ecofeme. Not many people are aware of these brands, and I would like to actually highlight. So that was one of the points. Also, in terms of academics, I would want that, you know, in the curriculum, AI should be very, very essential. Because people shy away from AI saying it's not our thing, but I think it's very, very important for us to know what AI is actually about, because we have to grow in terms of education, so yes.
Good afternoon. Yeah, hello team members. As you know, I heard the presentations and today's topic is on a sustainable. And I know personally Rakesh sir since from so long, and he is working on a sustainable material, reuse materials like from liquid to hard material. So what is your opinion on that? We are always talking on AI. So I know you are well connected with the education organizations also in Bangalore and all over India. What is your opinion on that? AI one side and the sustainable material is one side.
Good afternoon. I am Rakesh, representing Kalyani Recyclers. We are into sustainable products. We are the first of its kind in Asia where we can process any plastic without segregation, including the fiber, polyesters, or when I'm coming to civil, like we are using ETP sledges to make bricks. We manufacture bricks very close to 610 tons per month. 610 tons of plastic waste, we are converting it into pavers, bricks, tiles, and roof tiles. So in future, you can see all this wall, we can digitally print and use it with our plastic waste. In this, not only MLP, we are using all sorts of plastic. It is not that we are concerned with only one specific plastic. So we are working with the government, we are working with the MRF, we are working with the ULBs and all. So here we have divided into two things. One is post-consumer waste and one is pre-consumer waste. So in pre-consumer waste, like we are going with any of the industries. So suppose we can say like Titan, eyewear. So to manufacture one spectacle, you have a lot of wastages. So one is cellulose acetate, one is the thermoset material, which cannot be recycled. So with that, we started working on that because cellulose acetate material is not available in India. Only 3 manufacturers all over the world. So what we did was we took the scrap, we redid the granulation, and then we made the blank. So all those black color like Karan Johar they are wearing, those are all remade in Bharat. So these are the types of innovation we have done, and we have made bricks wherein you can construct a toilet size of 4x4 in 40 minutes. No cement, no water, no sand is required for this. It is do it yourself. You can just knock and you can build the toilet. So you can build a security cabin, any wall construction you have to do. We have done in Anganwadi Kendras, we have done a lot of toilet blocks for girls high schools and all. So like this, we are coming to the Education Institute. We want more entrepreneurs to come to sustainable products, because small example, like when we are talking about AI, I'll give you a fair example. We did one study in Mysore. So roughly population is 15 lakhs. So one toothbrush which is weighing around 20 grams, it has got 3 different materials: polypropylene, TPE, and nylon bristles. All 3 are different family which cannot be recycled because it is all paired. So when we calculate per year in one city, Mysore itself, only toothbrush, 60 tons of toothbrush is going for landfill. So what we did was we associated with dentists, we associated with them, we educated them, we told them that, this is what is happening. No rack picker is going to pick the toothbrush. So it is directly going for landfill. So we educated, and now we have kept small boxes. So whenever your customer is coming, they'll get the dental toothbrush, then the soap cases or whatever is related to the mouthwash, whatever plastic is there, they'll come and put it in that. So that way, a slow process of recycling which we are infusing in the young minds. So we are going to colleges, we are telling them that this is what is happening. So now awareness about recycling is growing at a very faster rate. Especially if I am telling you pond ash, what Madam had mentioned. In India, only 2 people are using it. Because it is very hygroscopic, lightweight material. Even if you keep it here, atmospheric moisture it will absorb. It is directly going in mining, it goes -2 kilometers and they fill it there. So only 2 products are being done with pond ash. One is we are doing it and there is one more in Tumkur. So he is doing the lightweight bricks. So advantage of the bricks, what we have done is you can construct 4 floors building without any pillar for a 30-40 site. So one pillar is costing you like 1 lakh. It is like 12 pillars is like straight away 12 lakhs you are saving on the pillars. So like this, many products we can do in sustainability. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Any more further questions to the panelists?
Yeah, thank you, sir, Rakesh sir, being here, and panelists others also. And sir is on a sustainable industry from so long, and he's having a very good industry in Bangalore, Pinya, next to Pinya, and he is developing all over country. Some industries he is developing, and he's collaborating with the